Because the ability to place your money in the right places can make or break your financial future, I'm about to break down 6 of the best places to put your cash in 2026, starting with the safest essentials and then moving on toward the high risk investments. But before we get started, my name is Sully, and all I ask is if you do find value in this video, that you consider hitting the like and subscribe button for future content like this. With that said, let's first go over paying off high interest debt. As the US government site specifically says, no investment strategy pays off as well as or with less risk than eliminating high interest debt. Most credit cards charge high interest rates as much as 18% or more if you don't pay off your balance in full each month. On top of that, the total amount of outstanding credit card balances have been rising at incredible rates in recent years, and Bankrate reports that around half of Americans carry credit card debt, and that for millions of American households, credit card debt represents their highest cost of debt by a wide margin. So pretty much there is no investment, at least that I know of, that can give you a guaranteed return of 15 to 20% or more in growth. The S&P 500 since 1957 has delivered an average annual return of 10.54%. And so because of that, if you have any debt that is charging you over 10% of interest, then you'd really want to consider that as a top priority, because for most cases, that would give you the highest return on your investment without even diving into risk like investing into the stock market. Which also realize how dangerous it is to have high interest debt, because the interest accumulates over time, and if you end up having credit card debt for years, it could seriously cost you, and in ways you may not even think about. So let's just use a simple example here and say you have a $5,000 credit card balance that you left unpaid for an entire year, and you were charged 18% of interest. That would then mean that after a full year, you would have to pay an additional $900. The biggest thing I'd say to someone that's in this position is to think of every purchase that you make, it has a 20% higher price tag. Would you really buy those Gucci flip-flops? But not just does that amount add up over time, but carrying credit card debt can also hurt your credit score, where this image shows how banks use your credit as a primary factor in deciding your interest rates on loans, where a good credit score would give you a low interest rate, saving you money over the course of a loan, where a lower credit score can significantly raise the interest rate you owe. And so in this image, you can see an easy comparison on how an excellent credit score when buying a home, if you were to get a 30-year mortgage for a home that costs $320,000, then the total interest paid would be $486,000. But if you had a fair credit score, you would end up having to pay over $50,000 more in interest over time. All in all, just realize that the choices you make today, like carrying a credit card balance, they not only charge you a super high interest, but they can also have an impact down the road when it comes to lending and other credit score impacts. So knowing the importance of that, the next best place to put cash is a high yield savings account. I have this as the second on the list because a high yield savings account is crucial when it comes to building up an emergency fund, so that in the worst case scenario, you at least have some cash that is readily available. And so the general guideline for an emergency fund is to have 3 to 6 months of your living expenses saved up. So if you typically are around $3,000 in living expenses, then you would want to have $9,000 to $18,000 saved depending on your situation. Now, whether you want it to solely be for an emergency fund or for savings that you have to set aside for other short-term goals, the reason that this is highly recommended is because, as the name implies, you can earn a high yield on your savings. You see, if you were to use a traditional savings account like Chase, they would pay you a total of 0.01% of interest on any of the cash that is sitting in that account, which means for every $10,000 that you have, after a full year with that rate staying the same, you would earn a total of $1. The truth behind this is that the big banks like Chase, Wells Fargo, or Bank of America, they already have a foundation and credibility in the industry, and for them, by doing this, it allows them to use your money to then go and make them much more money. But to explain why you'll really want to consider this, if we use an example like SoFi, which is personally my favorite one, they currently offer a 3.6% APY with a potential cash bonus and boost that you could have on the yield when you first sign up. But let's just say that you use this account for an entire year with $10,000 instead of using Chase, where you would only have earned $1 With the SoFi account, you would now have been able to generate $400 after a full year. And realize that the interest rates you earn can change at any time, primarily due to the Federal Reserve's decisions on interest rates. And by the time you're watching this, the rates may have already changed. But no matter what, you would still earn much more than if you used a traditional savings account like Chase, Bank of America, or Wells Fargo, to name a few. Now, if you want to learn more about high yield savings accounts, I'll have other free resources that I've created on them linked in the description below, as well as a direct link for you to check out some of the top ones available in the market, which please know that depending on the one you get started with, I may earn a commission for it, which is greatly appreciated. End of the day, I want you to do what's best for your finances, but let's now move on to the number 3 best place to put cash, that is fixed income securities. Now, if you don't know what fixed income securities are, think of them as investments where you are able to lock in a guaranteed return on your money over a specific period of time. And so some of the best times to use fixed income securities would be for short-term savings goals, like saving for a down payment on a house or an upcoming wedding. And depending on the situation, you may also prefer to use a high yield savings account. But if you know the duration and would rather lock in the rate or can even get a higher yield, the most common options to choose from could include government bonds like treasury bills or CDs. To quickly summarize each, CDs are most commonly offered by banks or credit unions, where they typically have term lengths that are 3 months to 5 years, where you may see some that are out of that range, but realize that whatever rate is shown for that CD is what you are guaranteed to earn. So a few examples that are currently out right now include Bread Savings, where you can currently earn a 4.15% APY on a 6-month CD, or Discover, that has a 4.05% CD listed for a 12-month period. To make things simple, let's just say that you picked the Discover CD and you owned that CD for the entire 12 months. That means that after that full year, you would get $405 from the interest. And then another thing to understand is that APY stands for the annual percentage yield. So whatever you actually earn from CDs depends on how long you've owned the investment. For example, if you put $10,000 into a 6-month CD paying 4% of an APY, a full year's interest would be $400. But since you're only holding it for 6 months, which is half a year, you would actually earn $200. Now, the same concept of a fixed rate over a specific term applies the same way to treasury bills, but T-bills typically are offered between 4 weeks to 52 weeks. There are also treasury bonds called treasury notes, also short for T-notes, that range from 2, 3, 5, 7, or 10-year periods. And then there's treasury bonds that are known as T-bonds that offer 20 or 30-year periods. And then another big difference between the two is that any of those treasury securities I just mentioned, the interest that you earn is exempt from state and local taxes. So if you're in a state like California, this could be especially beneficial for you depending on the rates that are offered between each. Now, do know that you can buy government bonds through the government's website, treasurydirect.gov, or you can see many government bonds and other types that are available through traditional brokerage firms like Fidelity, Vanguard, or Charles Schwab. And if we look at Fidelity, currently they range from the lowest of 3.52% on a 2-year treasury up to 4.78% of a yield on a 20-year T-bond. So depending on your state, account you use, and the overall rates that you could earn from either CDs or treasuries, I personally believe those are the 2 best places to consider for fixed income securities. And so to summarize fixed income securities, think of them as an investment that has a very low risk, but also a low return when it comes to using them over time. Because of that, let's now get into the investment categories that could truly allow your money to start building wealth for you, with the next best place being index funds. Now, index funds are at the core of my content and the startup I just launched called InvestLane. And the reason index funds are crucial to understand is because they are among the easiest tool that nearly anyone can use to build wealth over time and successfully retire one day. The reason is that by purchasing an index fund, you can get exposed to many different segments of the stock market, allowing you to invest passively without having to pick individual stocks. Now, yes, there are other ways that you can invest your money that could give you potentially more wealth, like investing into real estate or starting a business. But the thing I love about index funds is that you can get a strong return over time with moderate risk that is associated, especially compared to individual stocks or trying to dive into your own business. So the most popular index fund in the market that is referred to as the benchmark for the US stock market and is my personal favorite is the S&P 500, where you could purchase this as an ETF ETF like VOO, where that can be bought on pretty much any investing platform, or as a mutual fund through a particular brokerage firm that you use like Fidelity or Vanguard. And so if you don't know what the S&P 500 is, it's pretty much a way to buy 500 of the largest publicly traded US-based companies all within one purchase, where some of the top companies are ones you've likely heard of like Nvidia, Apple, and Microsoft that each make up over 6% of the weight toward the fund, and is why the S&P 500's largest sector is exposed to information technology with 30% of the weight toward the fund. Which, not to mention, but VOO specifically over the past 10 years has grown on average 14.58% per year, which means if you had $100,000 saved up and you invested $500 every month into it, whether that be for retirement or not, that means that by today, you would now have over $500,000 in your portfolio. So to sum it up, index funds are super easy to buy. They provide great diversification because they are also passively managed and track a certain index. They come at a low cost, and with the right ones like the S&P 500, over time, they have proven to do very well for investors. Now, to prevent this video from being super long, I've also created a ton of content on index funds, so I'll have many more free resources that I've created linked in the description below for you. But knowing that, let's now go over the 5th best place to put cash in 2026, that is riskier investments. So the biggest thing to realize here is that once you step out of long-term investing with index funds, the riskier investments can very well provide high returns for you, but the reason that they even offer the chance for that is because they contain a high risk. For many, if you aren't in a stable position to take on the risk and you don't wisely diversify your investments, then your financial future could be a real gamble. But if you are ready to get exposed to higher risk investments, realize that things like individual stocks, gold, or even trading options, they all have their own potential risk and reward. And so diversification, at least in my opinion, needs to be your best friend. If it weren't for my own experience of seeing how index funds would have actually have done better than when I used to trade stocks, and then when I heard Ray Dalio say, trying to time the stock market is harder than competing in the Olympics, I realized that too much risk can actually be very harmful, but so can having not enough risk. This is why I believe any investments that you have researched and believe strongly on, they're worth at least trying out with a small portion that you can risk. Because if we look at the rare cases like if you invested $10,000 into Nvidia 10 years ago, that investment would now be worth $3.2 million today. Or the stories about investing into Bitcoin, where 5 years ago, $1,000 would have turned into nearly $10,000. 10 years ago, $1,000 would have turned into nearly $500,000. And if you bought Bitcoin 15 years ago in 2010, which is incredibly rare and just after it initially launched, but that $1,000 would now be worth $1.62 billion. Obviously, those are rare cases and you're never guaranteed with any investment you choose. But even the janitor from Vermont, Ronald Reed, ending up having $8 million from living a frugal life and buying individual stocks that ended up doing very well. And not to mention, but that's also how legendary investors like Warren Buffett have built their massive wealth from investing into individual companies. I just personally recommend thinking through each one thoroughly on how much you are willing to actually risk when it comes to taking on the investment. But knowing that, let's now finish this off by going over the last place to put cash, that is business ventures. Now realize that starting a business can be one of the riskiest ways to invest your cash, but that same risk is what can create the potential for high returns. In fact, many of the wealthiest people in the world built their fortunes by creating something that helps others. So whether that be mowing a lawn, selling a business, or creating educational content, the key is to leverage your skills that can provide value to the world. Because if done properly and consistently, that can lead to significant financial growth over time. And not to mention, but depending on your approach, the risk may not be as high as you think, and that could allow you to increase your income while still living the life you want. So whether you are in need to start paying off high interest debt or able to take on riskier investments, remember the key is to start taking action and to try and build a strong foundation as you are able to move on to higher risk investments that align with your goals. Now don't forget, if you want to get started with a new high yield savings account, check out top CD rates available or brokerage accounts that are in the market. I'll have a direct link below to each review that we have that shows many of the top options to consider. In the end, I want you to do what's best for your finances, but do know that depending on the ones you get started with, I may earn a commission for it, which is greatly appreciated. And as always, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notifications button for future content like this.